Google stock is dead. That's the headline and the sentiment I was seeing from a lot of people about 6 months ago when Google was trading at its 52-week low of around $147 per share. And I mean, at the time, everybody seemed to hate Google stock and believe that it was a dying stock. But look at this. Now, year to date, the stock is up 32%, and in the last 6 months alone, up over 51%. Now, here's what's interesting about this. Despite being up 51% in the last 6 months, if we look at the forward PE ratio of the Mag 7 stocks, they're still trading at the cheapest valuation from a forward PE perspective. And for example, Google's actually projected to grow earnings at a faster rate than Apple, who has a forward PE of about 31.7. Now, I was frequently covering Google about 5 to 7 months ago, and at one point I even made a video stating how Google looked like the best opportunity in the market, exactly 6 months ago now. And since then, the thesis has played out phenomenally. But here's what's interesting. Google stock might still have some room to run at its current prices. But let's take a step back and talk about what's happened with Google stock. Why have we seen this run up? Well, in reality, it's due to two things. Number one is obviously a complete change in sentiment around the stock. People are starting to realize that Google's Gemini is an actual player in the AI race. And we can see here on the AI leaderboard, they actually lead right now in best in adaptive reasoning. We also saw in recent weeks that Google's Gemini overtook OpenAI's ChatGPT as the most downloaded free app on the App Store over the weekend, which is ironic because people seem to think that AI was the end of Google stock. And despite the rise in AI, here's what's so interesting. If we look at how revenue from Google search has changed over the last year, in the most recent quarterly earnings, it was up 12% year over year. Double-digit growth. That's not the type of revenue growth you'd see from a dying company. And so it's clear the market finally started to wake up to this. But we have to touch on the other huge piece of news as well. It was ruled earlier this month that Google would not be required to sell Google Chrome, an antitrust remedy ruling. This was news we'd been waiting to find out for a long time. Now, if you actually dig into this ruling, one of the things that's pretty ironic is one of the reasons Google was not forced to sell its Chrome browser was because of the rising threat of AI. ChatGPT actually indirectly saved Google from being forced to sell Google Chrome. It's funny how that works. But let's talk about Google from a valuation, from a fundamental perspective. Is the massive opportunity gone after rising over 51% in the last 6 months? Well, to start, let's jump over to the stock screener and take a look at Google, and you can see all this data will load in. And like always, if you'd like to download any of these spreadsheets and also get access to the ticker data add-on in Google Sheets that allows you to automatically import stock financials directly into your spreadsheet, then you can head over to tickerdata.com at the link in the description. It's a great tool. I use it basically every day. There's a 7-day free trial. Now, if we start to dig into Google's financials, you can see from the get-go, revenue per share has grown at a high rate, and it's essentially grown every single year over the past decade. Now, one of the things you'll notice, though, if we look at earnings per share, we can see from 2021 to 2022, there was a fairly large decline going from $5.69 in EPS to about $4.59. Now, why was this the reason? Well, one of the things we have to keep in mind is nearly all of Google's revenue comes from advertising. And during 2022, we actually had 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP, which by definition technically means we fell into a recession. We started seeing companies pull back their advertising budgets, and as a result, companies like Google, companies like Meta, they saw a decline in EPS. And we have to remember that over the long term, share price always follows the fundamentals. And it's always interesting to see this charted out. For example, if we look at the net income charted out over the share price for Google, we can see as net income declined during that year, the share price declined as well. But then we saw a quick recovery, $4.59, $5.84, and then in 2024, $8.04. And perhaps what's even more impressive is look at this return on invested capital that Google's seen over the last 4 years, above 20% for 4 years in a row. Now remember, return on invested capital is one of the most important metrics in my opinion, because this is essentially telling us how profitable are the projects the company is investing its capital into. Decent companies should be getting at least about 10%, but great companies should be getting 20%. Google's done that for 4 consecutive years in a row now. And during all of this, they also announced they're going to start paying out a dividend, and they're only using about 8.5% of their earnings currently to pay out that dividend. So yes, the yield is obviously very low. They just started paying it out, but there's a lot of ability to grow it at a very high rate in the future. Now let's talk about what those forward returns for Google actually look like. The stock is currently trading at $251.76 per share. So what we want to do is jump over to our sensitivity analysis. Let's plug in Google. And again, the data will load in thanks to ticker data. Now, when we're projecting forward returns, what will our returns look like? Basically, all we're doing is projecting our future EPS growth rate and then projecting what their future PE ratio will look like. Now, with ticker data, what's fortunate is projecting the future EPS growth rate can be rather simple because one of the cool features is we can automatically pull in the average analyst estimate for earnings per share over the next few years. So each of these numbers we're seeing here is the average EPS estimate from a handful of analysts. So the projected EPS CAGR we're seeing from 2025 through the year 2029 comes in at about 12.5%. That's very solid growth. We're talking about double digits. So let's go ahead and plug in that number. We'll just assume they actually achieve the average analyst estimate. In reality, obviously, it has the potential to be higher, has the potential to be lower. But we're making projections here. So we'll go with 12.51%. That would put 2025 earnings at about $9.94 when the previous year was about $8.04. So that's good growth overall. But now we need to do the projected PE ratio. And this is where things can get a little bit tricky. What are the things we should be accounting for when talking about the future PE ratio? Well, the most obvious thing we can do is look at how the stock has historically been trading. Now, we have an outlier here in 2017, which we typically want to remove outliers. And when we remove that, we can see the average PE ratio over the last decade sitting at about 25.86. After the huge run-up, the trailing 12 months PE ratio is about 26.39. So it's essentially the same. It's only off by about 2%. So the stock is now being valued pretty much the way that it has been historically speaking. So when we see this huge run-up in the last 6 months, really Google was just reverting back to its mean PE ratio, its average PE ratio. That's one of the reasons that I think there can be a lot of value in just looking at how a stock has historically been trading. Now, on top of this, we have to think about a couple of other things. First off, we remember, stocks that are growing at a higher rate do warrant higher PE ratios, and from what I'm seeing, this seems to be somewhat fair. 12.5% earnings growth with a PE ratio of around 25, 26, I think that makes a lot of sense. But then we have to ask ourselves, like, how is it trading compared to peers? Does it have sustainable competitive advantages? And the short answer to both of those things is compared to its peers, it's actually still undervalued, at least on a forward PE basis. And what we've seen over the last few months is sentiment seems to be getting better because people do think Google actually has a sustainable competitive advantage. So let's just be somewhat conservative in this scenario and assume that the PE ratio doesn't change. We'll put it at about 26, essentially where it's been on average over the last decade. What we can see is by the year 2030, you'd have a return of about 85%, which would be a compounded return of about 10.8%, which is obviously quite a few percentage points above historic average market returns. This is why Google stock is still interesting at its current prices. Despite this huge run-up we've seen in the last 6 months, it's still the cheapest of the Mag 7 stocks. It still looks attractive when you project those forward returns just based on really average estimates. So yes, I think it could be fair to say if you haven't bought Google stock yet, you haven't completely missed the boat. But I do think you should ask yourself, what was preventing you from buying Google back when it was trading at $145, $150 per share? More than likely, it was all the negative sentiment you were seeing around the stock. To be a successful investor, you have to be able to think for yourself. What I'm telling you in this video, what I'm telling you today, is essentially the exact same things that I was pointing out 6 months ago when the stock was trading at about $150 per share. If you can clear out the noise and even use valuation models where you can project forward returns, that can actually be quite helpful. You can see when there's a disconnect from the share price and the fundamentals. So with all that being said, let me know what you think of Google stock in the comments down below. And again, if you'd like to be able to download any of these spreadsheets and get access to the ticker data add-on in Google Sheets that allows you to automatically import stock financials directly into your spreadsheet, then you can head over to tickerdata.com at the link in the description. So with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.